All right, how to highlight and contour without looking like a crazy person. Okay, so I'm gonna use this brush. This is our cheek brush, but it's kind of cool because it has kind of 3 different angles on it, so you can use it for highlight, contour, and cheek color. And there's like a little divot here that you can put your thumb. Okay, so this side here is where you'll do your contour, the top is where you'll do your cheek, and then the very tip is where you can do your highlight. And so it has different angles so that it can get the different areas on your face. Okay, so I'm going to start with contour first. I have my thumb in that little groove there, and here's my little palette that I'm going to work from that you guys can kind of see. So I have my highlight, my contour, and then these 2 are both cheek colors. So depending on what kind of look for my cheek, sometimes I swirl them together. So, but that is my little palette there. This is all magnetic, so they can pop out and you can customize it too. So, so the first I'm gonna do is contour. So I'm gonna have my little, my thumb in there. So it's gonna be on the very like edge. Okay, so you can kind of see where that is. And so basically if you feel your cheekbone, that's where your cheek color goes. And so your contour is gonna go right below it. Cheek color goes on top, and then highlight sits on like kind of like a shelf of your cheek color. Okay, so I know where my bone is. It's like right there, so I'm gonna go right below it. Okay, I'm gonna kind of show you where I'm gonna place it first. Okay, so you can kind of see that's where it's gonna be. Okay, and then I'm gonna blend it together, blend it into my skin, and I'm gonna fluff it out at the end too. But do you see how that already lifted my cheekbone on that side? Like, for real. So I look 5 pounds lighter on this side, okay? So the next thing I'm gonna do is my cheek. So I'm gonna just like work my way up, and I will blend that out so it's not like a stripe. So just so you know, but I wanna show you first, and then we'll blend it and buff it so that you can't see the stripe, okay? And actually, let me contour the rest of my face before I do cheek. So I'm gonna get a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna go down here by my jawline. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit up here on my forehead. Okay, so an easy way to do it is kind of thinking of like a 3 and an E on your face. Okay, so here, and we're gonna buff it down here, and it's gonna go here, and then you can buff it down to your jawline. Okay, so let me just kind of connect the dots there. I'll kind of show you here. Do you see how it's like, I just look thinner over here, right? Okay, so we'll buff it out more at the end. Okay, so that's contour. Think 3 and E, okay? And you want to keep the center of your face like free of contour because that's where you want to highlight more. And so I only went like, think of like inside my eye. So I didn't take this contour, I didn't take it all the way over to the middle of my face. I kind of stopped right at my eyebrow. And then this contour, you can also contour underneath, under here if you need to a little bit. Okay, all right, now let's do cheek. So I'm gonna take the lighter cheek color first. And that's like right on the tip of it. Okay, so I'm just gonna apply a little bit right there. It's on top of that bone, and I'm gonna kind of feather it back to my hairline. Okay, and I'm gonna take a little bit of the darker color, and I'm gonna pick up where I kind of left off. Okay, I will blend all of that. So I went from light to dark, okay? And that's right on there. A good rule of thumb is just to stay 2 fingers away from your nose, okay? Everybody looks a little bit different with their cheek color. Like, how many have heard like, smile, find your apple? That's where your cheek color goes. Well, if I did that, when I stop smiling, it's almost like touching my nose. So that would look kind of crazy, right? So just about 2 fingers away from your nose, and you're gonna start on that bone, and you'll work your way back, okay? And then the final thing is the very tip of the brush. We're gonna do the highlight. And this highlight is called Glazed. And I'm literally gonna kind of set it right on top, almost as if the cheek color was a shelf, okay? And so with the highlight, you can kind of see that, okay? The highlight, you can highlight like a C around your eye if you want to. I'm just gonna do my cheek today, okay? The other places you can highlight is your forehead, your nose, your chin, and your Cupid's bow, which is like right above your lips, okay? So you can highlight the center of your face. We contour the outsides, okay? So I'll just show you just so you can kind of see. So I could do my nose, I can do my forehead right here, my chin, and my Cupid's bow. And you could take a smaller brush to get in there a little bit better, but I just wanted to kind of show you that. Okay, now I'm gonna take my big fluffy brush. Okay, so you can kind of see there's blank side. There's where all of my lines are. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of go over it. You could do a loose powder, you could do a translucent powder over this too, to kind of just help buff it out a little bit, but I don't have any product on it, so I'm just literally using it to blend. Okay, do you see? So that softened everything up, but doesn't my face, like if I took something straight down the middle, like don't I look thinner on this side? I do. Like, it's crazy, right? So I hope that was easy to follow along. That's so crazy. But yeah, so that's what I use. Okay, so a couple of other things really quick. So I used the contour in Latte. We have a darker shade. I use the highlight in Glazed. We have a darker shade. Okay, if you're like very fair and you're like, even those look too dark, like these two light colors look too dark, you can use some of our Chroma Fusion eyeshadows. So we have, let's see, we have Hazelnut is a great contour color if you are super ivory skinned. Okay, so just taking the brush through our Hazelnut Chroma Fusion eyeshadow. And then we have lots of like lighter shimmer eyeshadows that could be used for a highlight too. So I can't think of any off the top of my head. I think Candlelight would be a good one. Rose Gold might be a little dark, but it could also work. And then we have, let's see, Gold Status would be pretty too as a highlight. So, so basically there's lots of options. So we do have the highlight and contour in the palette, like I showed you. But if those are like, those are too dark or they look funny on my skin, it's okay, because we can customize and we can do one with our eyeshadow palettes. Like before they came out with those, that's what I did. I customized my own highlight and contour. I used Hazelnut and just got 3 of them, put them in a row, so that way I would have that nice little palette there. And then I used our like shimmer eyeshadows as a highlight. So I hope that that is helpful and that you don't look like a crazy person when you highlight and contour 101.